cycling. Cycling comes in at number 15 and is the first sport we'll be taking a look at. Cycling is a sport that involves the use of bicycles. There are several categories of bicycle racing, some of which are mountain bike racing, track cycling (BMX), road bicycle racing, and cyclocross. UCI, which is the Union Cyclist Internationally, is the world governing body for cycling and international competitive cycling events. It is recognized as an Olympic sport. Cycling is popular all over the world, especially in Europe. In countries like France, Belgium, Germany, Italy, Denmark, the Netherlands, Spain, and Switzerland, these are the countries most devoted to bicycle racing. And then the first ever bicycle race was held on the 31st of May 1869, a very long time ago, at the Parc de Saint-Cloud, Paris, France. It was a 1,200 meters race and was won by Englishman James Moore, who rode a wooden bicycle with solid rubber tires. And then we look at the equipment needed for cycling, some of which include helmets, bike gloves, jerseys, cycling shoe, bike lights, the bike lock, the spare tubes, as well as spare tires. And then the average salary expected per annum for cyclists is $50,000, $50,000 per annum, which makes it one of the most lucrative sports in the world. And then some of the famous stars known from cycling include Jaya Hindley, Remco Evenepoel, and Jonas Vingegaard. Coming in number 14 is pro boxing. Pro boxing started in 1891 when a private club in London began to promote glove fights in its premises. Professional boxing matches are limited to a maximum of 12 rounds, with each round lasting 3 minutes for men and 2 minutes for women. For decades, boxing matches went on for 15 rounds, but that was all changed on November 13, 1982, following the death of Korean boxer Kim Duk-Lu in a fight against Ray Mancini. Studies showed that the brain had become more susceptible to damage after the 12th round. Hence, this made the WC reduce their championship fights to 12 3-minute rounds with 1 minute in between. And then, in the event the winner of a boxing match cannot be determined by a knockout, a technical knockout, or disqualification, the final decision rests in the hands of the 3 ringside judges approved by the commission. The judges are seated separately along the edge of the boxing ring and are forbidden from sharing their scores, are forbidden from sharing ideas, are forbidden from speaking to each other. They are allowed to hand in their various scores to the referee at the end of each round. And then 10 points are up for grabs for each fighter. After all of the rounds, the scores are being collated by the clerk and the winner is announced. The average salary for pro boxers is about $51,370 per annum. And some of the stars from pro boxing that we know and that we have is the great Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Vladimir Klitschko, and Tony Joshua. And these are more are some of the stars from pro boxing. And in number 13, we have the sport called athletics. Athletics is a group of sporting events that involves track and field, road running, race walking, and many more. Athletics started as far back as early 2250 BC in ancient Egypt. Organized athletics are tracked back to the ancient Olympic Games from 776 BC. The rules, the format of the modern events in athletics were defined in Western Europe and North America in the 19th and early 20th century. So it's safe to say modern athletics started in the 19th and early 20th century. All forms of athletics are individual sports with the exception of relay races. And some of these individual sports involve the 100-meter race, 200, the 400-meter race, and many more. The governing body is referred to as World Athletics, and the average salary per annum for the athletes is about $65,734 per annum, which makes it one of the most lucrative sports in the world as well. And some of the popular names from athletics involve, or rather, some of the important names are Usain Bolt, Justin Gatlin, Christian Malcolm, Ezekiel Kemboy. In number 12, we have field hockey. Field hockey gained international recognition in 1861. It is a team sport structured in standard hockey format, in which each team plays with 11 players in total, 10 outfield players, and a goalkeeper. They must move the hockey ball with a hockey stick towards the rival team shooting circle and into the goal of the rival team. The team with more of these goals wins the match. Some of the turfs used to play field hockey involves the water turf, indoor bordered surface. Artificial turf is where the matches are being played. The governing body is referred to as the International Hockey Federation. There is an unlimited amount of time a team can make a substitution in a professional match. The match consists of 2 periods of 35 minutes and a halftime interval of 5 minutes for field hockey. Field hockey has an annual salary income of about $66,101 per annum, and some of the stars include Luciana Aima, Amy Swenson, Marcia Pancreas. The next sport on the list is tennis. Tennis comes in at number 11. And a little history on tennis is it gained recognition in the late 90s. Tennis is a racket sport played either individually against a single opponent, and this is referred to as singles, or played between 2 teams of 2 players each, which is referred to as doubles. The objective of the game tennis is to maneuver the ball in such a way that the opponent is not able to play a valid return. Tennis is an Olympic sport that is played at all levels of society, at all ages. Every society, every age level of the world plays tennis. The governing body is the International Tennis Federation. Tennis is played on a rectangular flat surface. The court is measured at 78 feet, 23.77 meters long, and 27 feet, 8.2 meters wide for single matches, and then for double matches, it is measured at 36 feet, 11 meters. One player is designated the server and the opposing player as the receiver. The choice to be either server or receiver in the first game and choice of ends on the court, that is choice of where each players will be staying on the court, is decided by a coin toss before the warm-up starts. The average annual salary expected of tennis players yearly is about $75,000 per annum. And some of the big names, some of the top names from tennis are Serena Williams, Roger Federer, Venus Williams, Novak Djokovic. Coming in at number 10, we have NASCAR driving. A little history on NASCAR driving. They gained recognition in 1948. Its governing body is known as the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC. NASCAR is a marathon. The average NASCAR race can last for up to 3 hours. NASCAR runs primarily on ovals, including super speedways, short tracks, and dead tracks. Since its inception, the NASCAR Cup Series has evolved into one of the most popular and best-paying sports in the world. Studies shows that it is one of the top-ranked and best-paying sports in the world as well. NASCAR driving has an average annual salary of about $112,000 per annum. It involves a driver and its car as well as its team as well. And some of the famous NASCAR superstars are Bobby Allison, Davey Allison, Buck Baker, Red Farmer, and Benny Parsons. And in number 9, we have the UFC fighting, wrestling. UFC fighting gained official recognition in the early 90s. UFC fighters compete for the title. It involves contestants, and that's wrestlers, struggling hand to hand attempting to take down, to shove their opponent. The UFC governing body is known as the Ultimate Fighting Championship. The UFC has an average annual salary of about $150,000 to $249,000 per annum. Some of the popular UFC stars are Anderson Silva, John Jones, Demetrius Johnson. UFC is known to be a very dangerous sport as it involves the use of the hands and as well as physical confrontation. And in number 8, we have golf. Golf, a gentleman's game, like it's popularly said. The modern game of golf originated in the 15th century in Scotland. It involves players using various clubs to hit a ball into series of holes on the course in as few strokes as possible. Golf does not use a standardized playing area. Courses typically have either 9 or 18 holes. Stroke play is the format that is mostly used for competitions globally. It is used for all levels. It involves the play of the lowest numbers of strokes by an individual. That is the amount of strokes, the least amount of strokes it takes an individual to make an hole. The governing body is known as the International Golf Federation, with an average annual salary of about $1.4 million, which makes it a very lucrative sport. Some of the famous golfers are Tiger Woods, Ben Hogan, Walter Hagen, and Tom Watson. Coming in at number 7 is cricket. In cricket history, it had its official recognition in the year 1611. Cricket is a bat and ball game played between two teams of 11 players on a field, at the center of which is 22-yard, 20-meter pitch, in which a wicket at each end, each comprising 2 balls balanced on 3 stumps. 2 players, the striker and the non-striker from the batting team. The striker and the non-striker stand in front of either wicket, with one player from the fielding team bowling the ball towards the striker's wicket from the opposite end of the pitch. The striker's goal is to hit the bowled ball and then switch places with the non-striker, with the batting team scoring 1 run for each exchange. In cricket, the rules are specified in a code called the Laws of Cricket. There are 42 laws. It has been owned and maintained by its custodian, the Marylebone Cricket Club in London, since 1788. The field is usually circular or oval in shape. The governing body is known as the International Cricket Council, and with an average annual salary of $2 million, it is one of the most lucrative sports in the world. Some of the cricket stars that has made good names for themselves and are known worldwide are James Anderson, Chris Gayle, Virat Kohli. And in number 6, we have American football. What is considered to be the first American football game was played on November the 6th, 1869, between 2 college teams, Rutgers and Princeton. They consisted of 25 players per team and used a round ball that could not be picked up or carried with the hand, but could, however, be kicked with the feet. This is the history of American football, and this brought about the beautiful game called American football. American football is a team sport played by 2 teams, and these 2 teams consist of 11 players on a rectangular field with goalposts at each end. The offense, and that is the team with possession of the oval-shaped ball, attempts to advance down the field by running with the oval-shaped ball or passing it. And while the defense, that is the team trying to defend, aims to stop the offense's advance and to take control of the ball for themselves. The touchdown, which is one of the most important play of the sport, is worth 6 points and is the most valuable scoring play in American football. The governing body of American football is the International Federation of American Football. American football has an annual average salary of about $2.7 million, with top stars like Tom Brady, Travis Kelce, Aaron Rodgers, all popular for their involvement in the sport. In number five, we have ice hockey. And a little history on the sport is ice hockey is believed to have evolved from simple stick and ball games played in the 18th and 19th centuries. Ice hockey was first played in 1875 in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Ice hockey is a team sport played on ice skates, usually on an ice skating rink, with lines and markings specific to the sport. In this sport, two opposing teams use ice hockey sticks to control, advance, and shoot a closed, vulcanized rubber disc into the other team's goal. Each goal is worth 1 point. The team with the highest number of goals is declared as the winner. And the goal of this is for the attacking team to take the rubber disc and to try to score in the opposition's half, in the opposition's goal post. In a formal game, each team has 6 skaters on the ice at a time. Ice hockey is a full contact sport. Ice hockey is considered to be one of the more physically demanding team sports. The highest governing body of ice hockey is known as the International Ice Hockey Federation. The average annual salary for ice hockey players are put at $3.5 million, with stars like Bobby Orr, Gordy Orr, Alexander Ovechkin. The sport has been able to be recognized as one of the most popular and one of the most lucrative sports in the world. And in number four, we have football, popularly known as soccer in some parts of the world. Football in its current form arose in England in the 19th century. Football is a team sport played between two teams consisted of 11 players each, 10 outfield players and one goalkeeper. Footballers who primarily use their feet to kick a ball around a rectangular field called a football pitch. The objective of the game is to score more goals than the opposing team by moving the ball beyond the goal line into a rectangular framed goal post defended by the opposing team. The game is played over 2 45 minutes half for a total match time of 90 minutes. Football is the world's most popular sport with an estimated 250 million players active in over 200 countries and territories around the world. A set of rules has been in effect since 1863 and maintained by the IFAB since 1886. The highest governing body in football is known as FIFA, the Federation Internationale de Football Association. Under FIFA, there are 6 continental federations, which are the AFC is the Asian Football Federation, CAF is the African Football Federation, the CONCACAF is the North Central and Caribbean Football Federation. The CONMEBOL is the South American Football Federation. OFC is the Oceania Football Federation. And UEFA is the European Football Federation. And every of this federation has its tournaments they play. The most senior and prestigious international competition are the FIFA World Cup and the FIFA Women's World Cup. The FIFA Women's World Cup and the FIFA Men's World Cup are played across age levels, the under 17, the under 20, and the main World Cup itself. The Men's World Cup is the most viewed sporting event in the world. The average annual salary is about $3.9 million annually. Some of the famous stars and the famous names from football are Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, Lionel Messi, Neymar, Kylian Mbappe. And in number 3, we have Formula One. Formula One originated from the European Motor Racing Championships of the 1920s and 1930s. The formula consists of a set of rules that all participants' cars must follow. Formula One was a new formula agreed upon during 1946 to officially become effective from the 1st of January 1947. The first World Championship race took place at Silverstone Circuit in the United Kingdom on the 13th of May 1950. Giuseppe Farina, competing for Alfa Romeo, won the first Drivers' World Championship, narrowly defeating his teammate Juan Manuel Fangio. Fangio went on to win the championship in 1951, 1954, 1955, 1956, and 1957. This set the record for the most world championships won by a single driver.
a record that stood for 46 years until Michael Schumacher won his sixth championship in the year 2003. Formula One, commonly known as Formula One or F1, is the highest class of international racing for open-wheel single-seater Formula racing cars, sanctioned by the Fédération Internationale des Automobiles, the FIA. Formula One were purpose-built circuits or closed public roads. Formula One cars are the fastest regulated road course racing cars in the world, owing to very high cornering speeds achieved through generating large amounts of aerodynamic downforce. Much of this downforce is generated by front and rear wings, which have the side effect of causing severe turbulence behind each car. The turbulence reduces the downforce generated by the cars following directly behind, making it hard to overtake. Major changes made to the cars for the 2022 season have resulted in greater use of ground effect aerodynamics and modified wings to reduce the turbulence behind the cars, with the goal of making overtaking easier. And Formula One has an average annual salary of about $4 million, and some of the famous stars from Formula One include Lewis Hamilton, Alain Prost, Sebastian Vettel. And in number two, we have the sport known as baseball. And for a little history on baseball, the evolution of baseball from older bat and ball games is difficult to trace with precision. Consensus once held that today's baseball is a North American development from the older game called rounders, a popular game among children in Great Britain and Ireland. American baseball historian David Block suggests that the game originated in England. Block argues that rounders and early baseball were actually regional variants of each other. The earliest known reference to baseball is in a 1744 British publication known as A Little Pretty Pocket Book by John Newbery. Block discovered that the first recorded game of baseball took place in 1749, as it was referred to as baseball in the early days, and featured the Prince of Wales as a player. The early form of the game was apparently brought to Canada by English immigrants. By the early 1830s, there were reports of a variety of uncodified bat and ball games recognizable as early forms of baseball played around North America. The first officially recorded baseball game in North America was played in Beachview, Ontario, Canada on the 4th of June 1838. In 1845, Alexander Cartwright, a member of New York City's Knickerbocker Club, led the codification of the so-called Knickerbocker rules, which in turn were based on rules developed in 1837 by William R. Wheaton of the Gotham Club. Baseball is a bat and ball sport played between two teams of 9 players each, taking turns batting and fielding. The game occurs over the course of several plays, with each play generally beginning when the player on the fielding team, called the pitcher, throws a ball that the player on the batting team, called the batter, tries to hit with a bat. And now the objective of the offensive team, that's the batting team, is to hit the ball into the field of play, away from the other team's players, allowing its players to run the bases, having them advance counterclockwise around 4 bases to score what are called runs. The objective of the defensive team, and that's referred to as the fielding team, is to prevent batters from becoming runners, and to prevent runners advance around the bases. A run is scored when the runner legally advances around the bases in order and touches home plate. And some of the equipment used to play the baseball are the baseball bat, the baseball glove, the baseball helmet, and the catcher's gear. And the governing body of baseball is known as the International Baseball Federation. Baseball players earn an average annual salary of about $4.9 million, making it also one of the most lucrative sports in the world. And some of the famous stars from the sport include Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Roger Clemens, and Barry Bonds. And in number one for the top 15 highest earning sports is basketball. In 1891, a Canadian-American professor called James Naismith sought to keep his students occupied and at proper levels of fitness during winter period. He invented a game in which players would pass a ball to teammates and try to score points by tossing the ball into a basket mounted on the wall. And this gave birth to the beautiful game referred to as basketball. Basketball is a team sport in which 2 teams comprising of 5 players each, opposing one another on a rectangular court, compete with the primary objective of shooting a basketball through the defender's hoop. and while preventing the opposing team from shooting through their own hoop. A field goal is worth 2 points unless made from behind the 3 point line, where it is worth 3 points. And after a foul, time play stops and the player fouled or designated to shoot a technical foul is given 1, 2, or 3 points free throws. The team with the most points at the end of the game wins. But if regulation time play expires and the score is tied, an additional period of play, which is called overtime, is mandated. The NBA is the most significant professional basketball league in the world in terms of salary, popularity, and level of competition. The NBA is a league in the United States of America. The FIBA Basketball World Cup and Men Olympic Basketball Tournament are the major international events of the sport. Games are played in 4 quarters of 10 or 12 minutes, 10 minutes for FIBA and 12 for NBA. College men uses 2 halves of 20 minutes, while college women use 10 minutes for 4 quarters. Overtime is 5 minutes. And the governing body for basketball is referred to as the International Basketball Federation, FIBA. Basketballers earn an average of about $8.5 million annually, making it the highest paid sport in the world. Some of the famous stars from basketball include LeBron James, Steve Curry, Tim Duncan, and Magic Johnson.
Thank you for sticking with us and enjoying the video. But just to do a quick summary of the video so far, for the top 15 highest earning sports, in number 15 we have cycling with an average of 50,000 per annum. Number 14 we have pro boxing, an average salary of $51,370 per annum. Number 13 we have athletics, average salary is $65,734 per annum. Number 12, we have field hockey with an average salary of $66,101 per annum. Tennis in number 11, average salary of $75,000 per annum. Number 10, NASCAR driving, an average salary of $112,000 per annum. Number 9, UFC fighting, wrestling, average salary of $150,249 per annum. Number 8, we have golf, $1.4 million per annum. Number 7, cricket, $2 million per annum. And number 6, American football with $2.7 million per annum. Number 5, ice hockey with an average annual salary of $3.5 million per annum. And soccer in number 4 with an average annual salary of $3.9 million per annum. And number 3, Formula One Grand Prix racing with an average salary of $4 million per annum. And number 2, baseball, $4.9 million per annum average annual salary. And number 1, the last, certainly not the least, basketball with an average annual salary of $8.5 million per annum. Thank you for watching our video, and do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.